are trying to work on some things, and the Chiefs able to get some production and have the lead here coming out in the second half.
Louis Rees-Zammit will kick off for the Chiefs. His last kick was a good one. Ideally, you want to skip it into the landing zone. And this one from the 5, it's Caden Davis on the return, and he's tripped up at the 22-yard line. Let's check in with Matt McMullen. Matt, how you doing there in there? You keep it cool?
Well, the sun just went down behind the third deck, so I'm doing okay down here. Caught up with Coach Reed at halftime. I asked him about that behind-the-back pass. Just 3 words in his comment. That was nice, so we have that. Yep, and then asked him about the players that are going to be out there in the second half, guys. His message to them wants them to eliminate the mistakes and go out there and play.
Thank you, Matt. It's always selective when Andy says something. He doesn't give you anything extra.
Keep it simple.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then Hooker now the quarterback, and he hands it off to Tom Kennedy. And Kennedy, a nice gain on first down for the Lions, gain of 9 yards.
Let's not overcomplicate it. That was nice.
That was nice. That's it.
And eliminate mistakes. And let's go out in the second half. So I love it, Coach.
He's so intentional in everything he does.
Yes, he is.
Second and short for the Lions. Play action for Hooker, and Hooker down the field. He missed a wide open target. Dorius Fountain was open. No one was within 5 yards of him. Now to bring up third down, 3rd and 1. See if the Chiefs can get an early stop in the third quarter.
Well, this is what we're going to see the entire second half, and actually jumping ahead to Thursday against the Bears, you're going to see a lot of the backups, right? You got to figure out those final 5 to 10 roster spots. You got to figure out those final 15 practice squad players as the Lions pick up the first down off the right side. But that's what's going to really the second half, and what next week's going to be about is who are those guys going to be? How are you going to establish your roster? Who are going to be the guys on the final cut? And who are going to be the guys that you bring back on practice squad to help this team go for a three-peat?
So many challenging decisions. It's a time of year, Trent, that is so hard on coaches and players next week.
Offense number 75, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Right, because the amount of commitment, the amount of energy you put into training camp, and then you have to say goodbye to a lot of really good football players. And Brett Veach, as good as any general manager in the National Football League, has done just an amazing job. And he has created a dynasty that seems sustainable for the foreseeable future with how well he's done, particularly late in the draft and with free agency. On the ground is Knight, the ball carrier, and he picks up a nice gain.
Well, and that was perfectly said, Ari, because what he's been able to do at the end of drafts, right? Well, like some of his late round picks, Pacheco, for instance. I mean, right? It's like those aren't guys that you're thinking are all of a sudden going to be, your starters. And so the success he's had after final cuts, where he's able to pick out, different guys that are cut around the league to bring in and add to this roster. The cap space they've been able to keep, and how they're able to sign players and keep some of their superstar players and move forward. So what an incredible play in the backfield there.
Curtis Jacobs, the rookie linebacker, comes in there and makes the play. Takes down Knight, loss of 3 on the play. Curtis Jacobs here, he read this the whole way.
Read it the entire way. The offensive lineman had no chance there. As doing up front in terms of the blocking, he shot to the backfield. Good anticipation on his part in securing the tackle, setting up this 3rd and 5.
3rd down for the Lions. Hooker in the shotgun. And that is knocked down. Felix and Udike Uzama there, 97, the first-round draft pick from a year ago. That's a terrific play, and it's going to force the Lions to punt.
Well, he got upfield. Nobody was blocking him. Watch as he comes off that right edge. Nobody touches him. He gets that right hand up and knocks it down. This defense has been outstanding. The guys up front, especially Chris Jones, he's been very adept at doing that throughout his career. But the other defensive linemen as well, if you can get a hand on it, get a tip, sometimes you're fortunate enough to get an interception. That time knocking it down, forcing a punt.
Jack Fox, the punt. Remigio from his own 5-yard line. Across the 10 to 15. Has a lane across the 30. cuts it back to the 35, and brought down across the 45-yard line. What a return there for Nico Remigio. Now this guy has flashed at camp the last couple of seasons. That's why we built the Crown Royal rig, an absurdly awesome 18-wheeler, delivering the generous spirit to stadiums and tailgates across the country. Follow the Royal rig on its journey from city to city for a chance to win tickets to Super Bowl 59. Visit crownroyal.com for rules and more. Please drink responsibly. Any chance we can get a ride on that thing? Come on.
I love the absurdly awesome. I love that line. That's a great line.
Chris Oladokun now in at quarterback, hands off to Deneric Prince. 3 yards on the play. Well, last week, Chris Oladokun did a lot of good things, Trent. 7 for 10, 95 yards. Looked like he had pretty good command of the offense.
He did. After a stellar college career, spending some time on the practice squad here in Kansas City, he's getting an opportunity here. And just talking to Matt Nagy this week about Oladokun, I was wondering, because Ian Book played well, and I'm sure we'll see Ian Book here in the fourth quarter, but Oladokun had an outstanding game a week ago, and I said, what are the differences you see in Chris from last year to this year? He said last year was just trying to learn the terminology, learn the offense, because this is a whole new system for him. This year he's playing much more loose and understands.
Offense, number 61, 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's on C.J. Hands, the rookie out of Holy Cross.
He just sees him playing more loose and understanding the offense better, and instead of back there thinking all the time, you can just let your natural ability shine, and he showed us that last week with some of the mobility with his legs moving around the pocket, and then the arm strength trying to push the ball up the field when he could.
And it helps him. He's got a really good relationship with Patrick Mahomes, and he also does a great job as a scout team quarterback on the practice squad, giving the defense the looks they need to prepare week to week. Oladokun here wants to throw on play action. He's going to step up to his right. Now he's going to tuck it, and he'll get out of bounds after a gain of a couple. It'll bring up a 3rd and long. Garnes forced him out of bounds. Now 15 and 87 have already created just an incredible legacy, and they are certainly not done yet.
I could tell by their body language. They're like, hey, just drop your arm down. Like, flip. Do you see Kelsey? Yeah. Kelsey's like, hey, just drop it down. Give me a little sidearm flip over there. Or behind your back.
Yeah, that works too. Third and 9. Oladokun in the shotgun. Pressure coming. A 50-50 shot there. McCole Harbin, the intended target. Wasn't able to time his jump the way he might have wanted to as we get another look.
Important to note that Winchester is going back out on the field. So into the first half, Noah Gray was the long snapper for field goals and punts. James Winchester back on the field.
That's great news.
That is. That's big news.
10th year in the league as a long snapper. Ariza, this is a real high boot. Another time he's going to pin him inside the 20. Isaiah Williams with the fair catch at the 10. 42-yard punt for Ariza. For the Lions. Hooker remains in at quarterback. He's under center. Toss it to Knight. And they get it just across the 15-yard line. Gain of 4. All right, we've got one of my favorite parts of the preseason. We're going to have a quarterback-to-quarterback conversation. Patrick Mahomes and Trent Green. Trent, take it away.
All right, Patrick. Hey, everybody's going to be talking about it. You had to talk about it this week because of what happened in practice, the behind-the-back pass, except you did it in a game today. Tell us about that play.
Yeah, I mean, long story short, Travis didn't run the route he was supposed to run, and then it was kind of a behind-the-back pass, kind of because I was mad. I was pissed off at Travis. He was supposed to run a flat route. I don't know if you can hear me on the broadcast. I'm yelling at him, and then he doesn't run it. So out of spite, I do it behind the back pass, but now it's going to be a highlight.
That's awesome because you just
say it to everybody. It can't be planned. It's got to be just naturally happen, kind of in the groove of things. And so I actually forgot about it until halftime. Someone actually brought it up to me, and it wasn't like I planned that at all, or it wasn't a called play. It just kind of happened.
Well, you're going to have to talk about it a lot. I have a feeling in the next couple days you're going to have to address that. Probably the press conference after the game, you're going to have to deal with it. And the fact that Travis caught it. It was a little bit behind, but now that I know it wasn't playing, that makes sense that it wasn't up a little bit because you were just trying to find him at that point.
Yeah, 100%. It was, yeah, we had a kind of RPO type thing going, and he was the guy I was supposed to throw it to, and then I got stuck with the football in my hand, and I was just like, gosh, darn it, Travis, and I threw it behind my back, and it worked out for us.
I'm sure if the mic picked you up, it wasn't gosh darn it. But, yes, you got the completion, you got the first down, you kept the drive alive. A lot of news this year is about the three-peat, getting the opportunity for the three-peat. You go into the offseason, that's the talk. You go into training camp, that's the talk. Talk about this roster and how you guys are going to get it done, trying to make that three-peat happen.
I think it's steady progression. I mean, we're not ready yet, and we're still building in the preseason. Obviously, I think we're playing a little bit better this week than we did the week before, and that's what you want. I mean, you just want to keep getting better and better. And we'll have a few more weeks of training camp back at home in Kansas City, and then we have one more preseason game, and you just want to keep building until you get that first game against a great opponent, and then you want to keep that momentum going throughout the whole season, man. It's a long season. You know that better than anybody. We can't focus on that right now, but we can work on getting better every day.
Well, you talk about as a leadership role that you have and what the other guys on the team that have been there and done that. How do you keep these young guys, right? They're coming rolling in, and it's like, okay, you guys just go to Super Bowls and win Super Bowls. How do you keep them in the work ethic and what it takes to get that done?
I think it starts with the leaders that we have on the team. It's not just me. I mean, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, those guys practice hard as anybody, and them to see that these great players practice that hard, and this is how you do it, it's the perfect example for me to point to. And so having those guys around me, having guys that have done it before, we put in the work, and then we bring those guys with us, and they want to win as much as anybody, not having that Super Bowl ring yet. And so it's a good infusion of young guys that haven't done it yet with the older guys that have, and you kind of keep that energy going.
When you see what's happening around this division, changes with the Chargers and a new head coach and some personnel changes over there. You see with the Raiders, they re-sign Antonio Pierce to make him the full-time head coach. And then what's going on in Denver. What about this division? You guys have dominated it since you've been the starting quarterback, and even before that when Andy got here. Just how do you maintain that edge on this division?
Yeah, I mean, this division is always a tough division. It's all about its rivalries. It's teams that truly don't like each other on the football field, and everybody gives each other their best shot. And so we really maximize focusing on our division opponents. We know it's going to be a huge deal for us, and so we make sure that we go out there and attack it like that. And there's a lot of great quarterbacks, a lot of great coaches, a lot of great teams, and so we got to focus on what we can do to get better, because we know that they're gunning to win this division like we are, and we go out there and just find a way to win it.
The first two games on the schedule are as big as any two games on the schedule because of who they're against and what potentially could be in previous seasons into these two games?
100%. I mean, if you look at the first game last year and the Lions getting after us and them winning the game, I mean, it's a challenge, man. You have to go out there with the right mindset. I think that's the biggest thing. And you know how we finished with the Ravens. That's a great football team, and we were able to come out victorious at the end of last year. But we know it's right there. It's neck and neck. And so you got to focus on them first and the opponent that they are and how hard of a game that's going to be. And then you try to find a way to win that one. And then the next week you got another great opponent, Cincinnati, who we played in the AFC Championship game the year before. And so you want to play the best. That's what this league's about, and we get two of the best right out the gate.
Last one, Patrick, and we appreciate your time, taking your time away from the game to talk to us. I know the fans love it. We love it up here. So the final one is just last year. Towards the end of the year, there were some struggles, right? You guys had lost some football games. You got things turned around. How do you take that experience and take into it? Because you've had years where you've been rolling into the playoffs and you just steamroll everybody. You've had years where you've struggled and then got things turned around at the right time. How do you share that with the guys, especially the young guys?
Yeah, I think first off, you just take it, like I said, day by day. I mean, I know I preach it and I say it a lot. It sounds cliche, but one game isn't going to really define you. It's about how you play and practice every single day and every single week. And you want to build that momentum. Last year wasn't fun. I said that right when training camp started, but it was fun at the end. So I think if you have that process and you build that momentum throughout the entire season, however you end the season is where you're really going to know how that season turned out. And so we'll just kind of work on this week of practice, and then we'll get into the next preseason game and take it from there.
I love the fact you said last year wasn't fun, yet you added more jewelry to your collection. So that's a great thing to do. Patrick, we appreciate your time as always. Thank you for being so generous with your time and coming on to talk to us, and good luck this season.
Yeah, appreciate you.
That's great stuff. Quarterback to quarterback. Trent Green and Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes, now to know that it wasn't a plan behind the back pass kind of changes it, right?
Oh, that's funny. Because to me, it's almost like he was trying to throw Travis under the bus.
Yeah.
Just to get it. That's like a friend to friend. Hey, I'm gonna get you right here. So that was all in good fun. I'm sure
Trent, there's a million things
some back and forth with that.
There's a million things to appreciate about Patrick Mahomes. But one of the things that I think that I admire about him is his ability to have short-term focus, but also understand the big picture. Like the way he goes about his daily work and also understanding the legacy as a historian of the NFL, he seems to be able to get the full picture and know what to focus on a daily basis and the big picture.
Well, and the thing that's impressed me is he's had so many big games, right, in his career. And the way he's able, think about the times that they've been down by 10 points or more. He has a winning record. Yeah. He has a winning record in his career when down by 10 points or more. He's got a record of 5-2 in the postseason when down by 10 points or more. You look at the number of yards that he's had in the postseason and what he's been able to do, Super Bowl yardage and completions, it's been phenomenal. And he's still a young guy. He's still got
28.
He's got a long way to go. So the cornerstone of this franchise is set, and he continues to lead both on and off the field. Does a great job with his charity work here in the Kansas City area, and just a leader of this football team and in the community. So kudos to him, the way he's handled this whole thing.
The measuring stick in the National Football League to be the greatest of all time is Tom Brady with 7. So I want fans to think about it. If he were to play as long as Tom Brady played, Patrick Mahomes still has 17 seasons left.
That's crazy.
Crazy. 17.
Yeah.
And he's already got 3 rings. You think he's not going to get 4 more in the next 17 years? I'd take the side of the bet that says he gets them.
Based on the way that Veach has built this roster, how much longer Andy coaches, he said, hey, why would he stop coaching? He's got a guy like Patrick Mahomes. So it's a special time here. Clark talked about that in the second quarter when he was in here, about how special this crew is.
32-yard field every week. We'll be covering the National Football League. I know you got a couple of good ones to start your season. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more of that on Thursday. But you'll be in a couple of hot spots the first couple of weeks. That ball skips in there. Sky Moore on the return. And Sky Moore still on his feet across the 45 and up to the 48. Outstanding return for Sky Moore. Third-year man. Former second-round pick back in the 22 draft. Nice to see him a chance to flash a little bit.
Well, and I talked to Matt Nagy about Sky Moore and just where he fits in this roster, right, in the lineup and all the receivers and what's going on. And he said Sky is really like a Justin Watson guy. He's been here long enough now that he can learn multiple spots. Instead of just being a backup at one position, he can be that type of guy like Justin Watson where you can plug him in at X, Y, or in the slot, or X or Z. Or Y in the slot if you go to 3 wide receiver groups. So having that experience is helping him in the long run.
Oladokin, good protection, checks it down to Derek Prince, makes one guy miss, and gets it to the 46-yard line. Gain of 7 there for Prince. Prince is going to be given every opportunity to make this football team. Running back, one of the really interesting position groups in terms of who they're going to keep as the 3rd and 4th running backs.
When you mentioned earlier in the game about Pacheco trying to be more of a 3rd down presence, and just maybe Prince is that guy. Maybe Prince can be that guy.
Because Jerick McKinnon will be missed. I mean, he definitely made a lot of plays on 3rd down.
He did.
Oladokin completes it. That's Herb Smith with the catch. And we know Herb Smith's got a lot of talent. 6th-year man. Played his college ball at Alabama. Last year, playing for the Bengals, had 18 catches for a little bit more than 100 yards and a touchdown with him. It's all about staying healthy.
It is staying healthy, and that's the thing. There's Travis Kelce as we talk about the depth at tight end, right? Noah Gray has shown how valuable he is. He's been traditionally that 3rd down, that 3rd tight end in the group, and then today being that backup long snapper, right, for field goals and punts, having that ability, and now all of a sudden is Herb Smith going to be the 4th guy if you decide to keep 4 tight ends.
Well, the Lions did a great job there. No chance for Prince. Tackled for a loss. Lauren Strickland, 48, came up to make the play.
And you got to remember Blake Bell was that fourth tight end, but Blake was also the guy they used in short yardage and goal line in the fullback position. So to Steele all of a sudden become a running back, fullback type in those situations, or do you keep Herb Smith and Noah Gray to be that? You know, there's a lot of pieces, and we'll get more into that with Brett Veach next week as you start piecing your roster together in the different position groups, how you're ultimately going to stack things up.
I want to remind everyone, Brett Veach will join us for the game on Thursday night. Oladokin in some trouble, and he will get out of the pocket and throw that one away and live to play another down. It was a high snap. He bobbled it and kind of threw off the timing of the play. Betts was bringing the pressure for the Lions.
Well, that's going to be a first down for the Chiefs as you get holding on the defense.
So, Trent, it's fair to say in this league, it's a copycat league, right? If a team's having success with something, other teams are going to look at it. Every year, this team goes out to St. Joe's and they do training camp. They get away from everybody, and they're just living in a college dorm. And it seems to yield incredible results. And I'm always surprised that you see so few teams now in the National Football League leave their home facility for training camp.
Well, and that was something Andy Reid talked about this week. Is just he likes getting away, and as Prince tried getting to the outside, shoestring tackle, getting him down. Had he been able to get away from that, there was a big gap over on that left sideline. But Andy talks about how he likes it because it's team building, right? You get to spend time together, and you know, he brought up the technology and tablets and phone and all that stuff. And he's like, if you're stuck there with the guys, you know, you become closer. So
hang on, look, you know, Patrick talked about one of the things he loves to do is taking the guys out. They go out for pizza, they have a good time instead of everybody going home to their families. It's just with the guys, and it seems it has really been effective, as Andy Reid's always been old school when it comes to training camp, back to his days when he was with the Philadelphia Eagles. And he's brought that same mentality here to Kansas City. Oladokin all day to throw, looking downfield, and now he's in trouble, and he tries to get rid of it at the last moment. I believe that's a live football.
Well, they're going to call him down. I think his knee was down. He tried throwing that, and it would have been intentional grounding because it didn't get back to line of scrimmage.